on now. You already know what this is. First things first, God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. That's the Heartbreak Prince himself. Look, y'all know this is another edition of Nighttime, and you know when it comes to this, I love, or should I say, we love to sit here and break down and talk about AEW. So let's go ahead and break it down on AEW Dynamite, baby. Man, look, Dynamite last night? Fire. Okay. Fire to desire. Look, fire, or should I say like Rick James and Tina Marie, fire and desire. Okay. This was crazy, man. I love everything about Dynamite last night. Look, they hit all marks and they're really getting us ready for this all in, man. Because honestly, we kicked it off and started off the show. Boy, with the timeless Tony Storm. And Luther, of course, ain't gonna be nice when you ain't seen Luther right there beside her, man. Look, she was coming out. They was already starting on the show, and all of a sudden, the CEO literally comes out and just starts beating the hell out of Tony Storm. I mean, first of all, you pushed Luther. Okay, Luther done bumped himself into Tony. Now Tony gets hit. She's gonna get all messed up. Mercedes was not playing with this, man. She took her and started just going crazy. I mean, to the point to where she said, "Welcome to Dynamite." I said, "Yeah, this girl's crazy. Something is wrong with the CEO. Something about this whole thing has made Mercedes Monet go insane." Okay. After this, she takes her outside of the ring. She, well, should I say, takes her outside to the entrance ramp. Literally continues to beat the hell out of her. Still going crazy. Hits her, starts hitting her with a submission move. Now everybody's trying to come out. They're trying to stop Mercedes. Oh, come on, stop, stop, stop. This is getting crazy. What are you doing, Mercedes? We shouldn't be doing this. Wait till all in. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Mercedes was saying whatever she wanted to say. Now here comes Mina. Mina want to come out. She wanted to try to save Tony. She stopped the attack. But what did she really do? She didn't really do much. Because my girl Tony Storm was still on the floor. And good old Luther, I mean, he over here fanning her with that handkerchief, boy. That's classic, classic. He always got that handkerchief just to fan off Tony Storm, man. And honestly, this was just a good sight to see. Because it didn't matter to Mercedes Monet. And this was the finish right here. Yeah, man. Y'all are doing your thing with this one. Look, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, and I'd be capping if I said I was lying about the greatness of what they're doing right now. Okay. Everything that they're doing, everything that they're pulling off, okay, everything that they're showing and everything that they're doing with this right now is completely gold. Okay. You can't get mad about this. How? How now, Brown Cow? Okay, that's the Grateful Sealy off of Courage the Cowardly Dog. So my 90s people out there. This was, you want to talk about aura. You talk about storyline. You talk about how good is this getting. Okay. See, they are building this up so well. Now, one thing that was interesting to me, Mercedes Monet. I mean, the constant, you'll never beat me. You're not good enough. Was like, yo, you know what, Mercedes? This is why we're calling you the CEO. You're doing your thing, man. I'm not mad about this. Tony Storm, I mean, again, if y'all didn't see Collision on Saturday, Tony Storm was already giving a banger of a promo. And she said, one day I might lose, my title reign will come to an end. Ah, man, the crowd ain't like hearing that. The crowd started to boo that. Even the thought of hearing, like, or even thinking that possibly Thomas Tony Storm's title reign might come to an end. Just really a little sickening in my stomach. And I know we asked the Heartbreak Prince, he said the same thing. But I mean, at this point, man, I mean, I'm legitimately excited for this. Now, there's a reason why we're talking about this. Why? Because this is gonna be definitely one of the greatest women's storylines we're going to be talking about in a little bit. In a few weeks, probably in a few months, probably in this whole year. This might be one of the better feuds. And I wonder how long are we going to be keeping this going? Because again, as much as Mercedes is saying to Tony, all this, you ain't gonna beat me, this, that, and the third. Okay. I'm telling y'all now, I don't think Mercedes is still gonna win this. And honestly, I still think Tony's gonna prevail. I really think so. But I really loved everything how Mercedes looks. She's looking strong. She's looking good. And honestly, the way Tony's playing it, I mean, Tony, first of all, Tony, so you're hilarious. You want to call yourself bottom heavy? No, hey, look, I get it. Okay, I get it. Say what you want to say. I'm not going to stop anything you want to say, Tony. Okay, you ain't tell a lie about none of the stuff you're talking about. But I mean, this is really good stuff. Luther constantly fanning. I mean, this is gold right here. Heartbreak Prince. What are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Um, yes. This was a great way to go ahead and kick Dynamite off. You know, to see Tony coming in the only, coming into the arena in the only way that Tony can come into the arena, which was chin up, tits out, but my girl didn't watch for the shoe. And at the end of the day, Mercedes caught her slipping, man. And I was shocked. I was shocked at this. And I love the feud that's going on between the two of them. And I love how every week they give it good quality time and find ways to just show them two interacting with each other in the ways that they do. You have Mercedes Moné as the CEO, carrying her 6 titles, and all she needs is just this last one to complete the whole spiel, the whole everything. And you have Tony Storm, who is just amazing as a wrestler, as a character, and as a performer, and then it's also as the AEW Women's Champion. And every bit of the fan in me wants to see Tony, retain at All In, but um, you know, it's like the more time that goes by and the more I see them interact, and I see like Mercedes Moné get the best of Tony Storm, like she did yesterday, it makes me think that, man, there's a strong possibility that she's getting ready to get this title and she's gonna be truly the belt collector. Um, and and before I was saying, hey, I think it's best for business if Tony keeps the belt and they go down this path of Mercedes, trying to kind of pick herself back up after losing, because she hasn't lost yet, and she's won all of these different titles, or she hasn't lost a title at least yet, and so, but now I'm thinking it would also be interesting to see, and I think you could still do a story and still have a story, even with Mercedes capturing the women's championship, and now Tony Storm is on the prowl to get it back. And I still think you can have a story there of like sort of, it doesn't it's not the same, but sort of like we saw with Mariah May, or Blake Monroe as she's now known as, and Tony Storm. Not to the level of storytelling. I mean, even this is not to the level of storytelling that was, but we still saw how the effects, and I think that's what I really enjoyed about that storyline, was how it affected Tony Storm as a wrestler, as a performer, how she went to this thing where she lost herself as Tony Storm, and as timeless Tony Storm, and came out and started just being regular Tony Storm, and then she had this arc of like, being Tony Storm until she got beat up and hit in the head again. And then she said, darling, whatever would make you think that I have forgotten. And she is like, out of
The
nowhere, her
amnesia.
personality changed from Tony Storm back to timeless Tony Storm. And it was just amazing. Now, I can go about that story all day long, because I thought that was one of the better stories ever told as far as women's professional wrestling goes. How with the whole year and change that it spanned in that story. But my point with this is, if in this case, Timeless Tony Storm can still have something similar where she lost this title and now she has to get it back because of who it's with in Sasha Banks as the CEO and having all of the gold. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I really am. Like I've been really rocking and vibing with this story between these two ladies, and I'm hoping that the match that they put on really does live up to the hype of it, and I'm excited, all in. It can't get here soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah, man. They're cooking with us. I feel you though, HB Prince. I really do feel like there'll be a strong possibility Mercedes might get that seventh Dragon Ball, as my man Drew would say.
I think so, man. I'm thinking that, like I said, the more I think about it, I think they can go that route, and I think it'll still work. I really do.
Yeah, I think it could. I think it could, but we'll just have to wait and see, man, because it's so up in the air, and the way they're doing it, it's like at this
Yeah,
point, who knows? We not gonna
yeah,
know until all in, so we just gotta wait and see.
yeah,
But one great thing that just got added to the card, okay, that we got to talk about is what the Bucks, Swerve, and Omega, and then Will Ospreay. Okay, look, you want to talk about something that was crazy? First of all, the Bucks came out while they were backstage, and they announced that Will Ospreay and Swerve were gonna have a match, and it's like, no, 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 it's gonna be on the second hour. No, 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 it's actually gonna be right now. Okay, Will Ospreay comes out. My man was still trying to put his freaking gear on. Like, tape was still trying to get on. This man's running out the ring, fixing up his tape. Oh, but not Swerve. Swerve came out. That man is the definition of if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Of course, Prince Nana's out here dancing it up, going crazy, doing what he does. And of course, they came out, dominated, had a great tag team match. But in the midst of them having that match, the Bucks were legitimately out there watching them the whole time. You want to talk about micromanage? Yeah, this was crazy. Okay, they're sitting out there watching them now. Swerve and Ospreay had a great tag team match. They win. Now at this point, Swerve grabs the mic, tells the Bucks, "Look, ever since the EVP's been trying to take over, AEW ain't been the same. It's been trash, all this, that, and the third. Man, look, when I tell you the crowd was feeling it, the crowd was behind him. So what happened? Swerve told them, why don't you guys face us at All In, where it all happens, where it all is going to matter? And then Will Ospreay grabs the mic. And at this point, he says, you know what? I'll do one even better. Why don't we do it for the EVP titles? Now, it was interesting when they said this. Because when you say the EVP titles, you're thinking, what do you mean by that? Well, in terms of the EVP titles, they mean the power of AEW. These men, first of all, are saying, if we beat the Bucks, then we have the EVP power. Now, to be fair, do I want to see Swerve and Will Ospreay as the EVPs? Hell no. Hell no. You're not gonna do what the Bucks have been doing. Now, we know, and of course, me and Heartbreak Prince talked about it on Exclusive Minds last night. Okay, when you have the
check that out.
Bucks, come on now, make sure y'all watch that. It's really good stuff. Talk about our top five to stay alive. So
That's right.
when we talked about this, man, with the Bucks, different breed. I think 101. Okay, you can't get this kind of special order from nobody else. When it comes to the Bucks, especially as them as the EVPs, I love this. Okay, I love how they've been doing everything, trying to take control of Dynamite. Every time you turn around, they're always messing around with something in the back. Of course, they've had Okada messing around doing some stuff before back in the past. But this right here, I'm very intrigued. I am very interested as to what they're going to do with this. Because honestly, we think about it. It seems like All In is really going to be the pay-per-view where it seems like the AEW originals, or just the AEW, the baby faces or the faces, are trying to take trying to take the control back of AEW. Trying to get away from the EVPs. They're trying to get away from the Death Riders. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But it's so important as to what they're doing with this, man. I love this. I absolutely love this. And of course, Swerve came out, hit his good old stomp at the end. That was great. That was great. EVP's run off, classic heel stuff. But I love what they're doing with this, man. The Bucks and Will Ospreay and Swerve, and we were talking about this the last time on Nighttime. Okay, the involvement and the story that these guys are all telling everybody. There's so much involved in story wise with everything and everybody that's going on, and this is getting so good, man. I'm telling you, man, I think this is definitely gonna be one of the best matches of the night. Am I saying that because of the Bucks? Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying. That okay. You can say I'm a little biased when it comes to the Bucks, but man, I know when these guys get up in there, it's gonna be a classic, guaranteed. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Hey, I'm in agreement with you. I was very excited about this last night when this match became official. Um, because it was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get to see the Bucks perform in a ring, a pay-per-view. I know it's gonna be spectacular. I know they're gonna deliver. And then the cherry on the top is that my number one wrestler. So the Bucks I had, for those who don't know and didn't check out exclusive minds just yet, as my number one tag team. And so it was awesome to see. Yes, that's right. Hold up the ones.
Them ones,
The
boy.
Bucks were going to be wrestling, and then to have to be wrestling against my current favorite wrestler, my current number one wrestler, Will Ospreay, and to have him in the match. That's right. I like the Power Ranger. Go ahead and give me
That's
Tommy.
right. That's
And so because Tommy can do it all. You wouldn't you
Come on
name
now.
it. You want acrobatics, he got it. You want strong style, he got
He
it.
got it. Come
You
on
want
now.
what is this like moves that you just had
Aerial
never
flips
seen
and all that.
before. The
Oh
the
yeah.
yeah, like the just the imaginative ring acuity, just the ability to just do things that you just don't normally see done by a human body in a ring. You gotta give it to Will Ospreay. I'm surprised that his body is still functioning at this point in time, and he hasn't broken it with some of the stunts and things that he's pulled. And I will say Kenny Omega is a close second in there because his stuff in New Japan was also very good as well. But Will Ospreay, to see him and know he's going to be in a match with the Bucks, and then you throw in Swerve, who's also highly athletic and highly capable. I mean, it's going to be a spectacular match. I know they're going to deliver.
That's some, that's some chills, boy. That's the rock
That's
chills,
right.
man. This
That's
match is
right.
gonna give
You,
us some
you know what
chills.
time it is. You know what time it is.
Man, that's gonna be man, and you
It's gonna
know.
be fire, man. It because you're gonna be watching four great athletes going at it, and it's gonna be a thing where I'm really interested to see how Swerve and Will Ospreay work together against a team just that is just a machine. You want to talk about in sync, and I'm not talking about the boy band, but you're talking about the Bucks like 100%. Like we said, I don't know if they are sharing a brain, if they are telepathic or anything like that, but them boys are always on the exact same page with the moves they're getting ready to pull off. And I mean, it's always so crisp, man. It's crisp. And so it's exciting to know that we're going to get a match of this caliber. Now, the EVPs, having the whole EVP thing on the line, that's just a little extra for me. If they just had a match just between them, fine, whatever.
Hmm.
But I think it gets to the point of, do I really want to see Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland as the EVPs of AEW? No. So if they, because I think like the Bucks have already fit that, like they've already been doing that like since the beginning, since the inception of AEW, but in that role, in that position, in that they it's kind of them now. Like, we're the EVPs. Like, like it's just kind of who they
Yeah.
are. Like, your match was scheduled to be in the second hour. Oh, we changed our minds. It's gonna be right now. Like, that's what makes it good. That's what makes it even better. So, I mean, that's ice on the cake. But I would want to see Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay as the EVP. So I think they got to take the L on this, but they can put up one hell of a match and let the Bucks go over.
Yeah,
That's my
man.
thought process.
Yeah, man. And that's what's making this so interesting because it seems like the story for everybody, whether it's just, the ops beating the Death Riders for the trio tag champions, whether it's Swerve and Will Ospreay
Or
trying to beat the EVPs, for the
Yeah.
EVP title.
Yeah.
Whether it's, we're talking about Adam Page trying to beat John Moxley for the AEW champion. Like all of
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
ties in perfectly. And
Yeah.
I think this is going to be really good, man. So maybe we'll see. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
going to be one of those things where we see the AEW talent take over and maybe try to right the wrongs of what the EVPs have been doing.
Yeah.
Could be the
And
thing.
it's really good. I'm so happy for AEW in the sense that they got enough talent where they can put these types of matches together, and it's just exciting all the way through the card. Like so far, each match that they've been setting up has just been exciting. It's like that's going to be a dope match. That's going to be a dope match. Like it's starting to get hard to determine. Well, I'm gonna say from two down. I already know what one is. It's gonna be hard to replace number one for me, for me, and that's definitely Timeless Tony Storm and Mercedes Monet. And then after that, you talk about the Death Riders and Hangman Page, and you talk about the EVPs and Swerve and Will Ospreay. Like that's a tough one. Like which one. But the good thing is we're gonna get it all in one night. It's gonna take 10 hours, but we're gonna get it all in one night.
That's right. That is going to be a great 10 hours. I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
But speaking of greatness, come on, man. You know we got to talk about this because we've been talking about this for a long time. Okay, since we started the first episode of Nighttime, my man. Look, first of all, okay, Tony Schiavone. Okay, he came and started interviewing my man. I would say maybe a long lost cousin, my man Kevin Knight and Speedball, and he interviewed them and he asked them, how do you guys feel about facing the Hurt Syndicate for the tag titles? Of course, they start talking real nice. And what happens? Oh yeah, Bobby and Shell wasn't hearing that. Hurt Syndicate does definitely comes out and they start beating the hell out of Kevin Knight and Speedball. I mean, to the point where they're just beating the bricks off of them. I mean, it was bad. It was bad to the point where Bobby Lashley started throwing Speedball into the apron, threw him into the stairs. I mean, at this point, look at this man Speedball. I mean, we're just looking just all bad. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, that does look kind of crazy looking at this kind of image right now. But it just looks crazy when he's out
pause.
there getting that's a super ball. That's right there. When he's out there just getting washed and manhandled. I mean, to the point where, MJF and then MVP come out. First of all, MJF just came out just laughing, okay, having himself a good old time. And I mean, to the point where, again, they are still continuing this assault. Okay, you got Bobby Lashley tossing speed. Look, come on, look at him. Look at Speedball crying for help. This man is dying on the floor. Then they take Kevin Knight and they take Speedball and put them both through a table. Come
Crazy
on,
work.
insane. Then MVP gonna grab the mic talking about let's play the music, man. And of course, crowd don't give a damn about Kevin Knight and Speedball at this point because what they doing? They chant, "We hurt people. We
We
hurt
hurt
people.
people.
We
We
hurt
hurt
people."
people.
Somebody, great news. MJF got them. Now y'all know if MJF gets on this mic, it's gonna be gold. And what does MJF say? MJF said he's gonna be having a qualifying match for that gauntlet match, and he said he's gonna win. And when he does win, he said he don't care who he has to go through. He said it's not gonna be you're the man that just keeps a championship in the briefcase, John Moxley. And he said he doesn't matter if it's the crooked cowboy, Adam Page. He said it's gonna be me. And I'm gonna take that title back home with me where it belongs. And this is the finish right here. Man, I ain't gonna lie. You want to talk about a great promo because I ain't even gonna lie. Even after that, my man Mark Bristle came out, said he had I think he called him like a little, he had like some kind of little small pickle or whatever, which is hilarious to the point where Bobby and Sheldon kind of broke character for a second. That was hilarious. That was good. That was good. And of course, Mark Bristle did win that qualifier match. I wanted the story they're gonna tell with that. But my man MJF, look, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I ain't gonna catch. This is gonna be good. And the reason why I'm saying this now, Adam Page wins and he takes that title from Moxley. Oh, that's your next storyline right there. I can't wait to see what happens with this. And the stories they can tell with that. First of all, MJF as a champion, he has a plethora of storylines you could have, you can use. We've seen what he did with Will Ospreay in that 60-minute match of a classic on Dynamite last year. We've seen the match the rematch that they even had at All In. Crazy. Okay. I'm loving everything about the Hurt Syndicate. Now, one thing I gotta say, because my man OVW Dropout has said something on this on the TikTok panel the other day. I think it was actually today. And I thought to myself, man, I do agree. Said, why is it every time when MJF is trying to say something, MVP will be interrupting him. So say, let my man MJF cook. He he got crowd control. It don't matter how much the people boo. They ain't gonna boo if they want to. MJF's gonna keep talking. MVP. Stop letting them stop cutting them off. Let him cook. Let the Long Island great cook. You see how much he does. Just see what he can do. Now, MVP, I ain't mad at you. And then James said, thank you, Montel. Thank you, Montel. I'm like, man, come on. I'm excited for this. Honestly, first of all, do I see the Hurt Syndicate losing the tag titles? Hell no. I don't. I ain't gonna lie. I love Kevin Knight and I like Speedball, but y'all, there's no way.
Y'all ain't
There's
it.
no way. And I mean, no way that's going to happen at all. That's not happening. You're not going to beat the Hurt Syndicate. You see what they did to y'all the first time. Even if y'all was fresh or not fresh, don't matter. The Hurt Syndicate going to take care of business and get it done. Now, y'all can say I'm a little biased about that, but I mean, let's look at facts right now. How many tag teams y'all got left to go up against the Hurt Syndicate? I'll wait. Not a lot. To the point you had to make one. Okay. But I love everything that MJF said. I think the nuggets have been planted. Okay. When MJF really wanted to go for that title. Look, first of all, we know anytime MJF's been a gauntlet match, he said, I'm gonna win. And I said, you're right, MJF. You are gonna win. I know you're gonna win. Because it's getting around your time. Now, nothing against my man Adam Page. But just know that title reign is going to be very limited if MJF got that opportunity. Because okay, we know how great MJF was when he was an AEW champion. We know how great he was when he was the American champion, when he was the Patriot. Man, look, they're going to cook with this. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this. And I'm really curious to see how far this is going to go with him and even Mark Briscoe. Because even him and Mark Briscoe has been saying some good stuff to each other. I like the promo battles they've been having. It's good. It's really good. It's funny how Mark Briscoe said, the word of the day was empathy. And I was like, man, and he said, I can see why you're doing this being with those brothers. Like, I say, hey, come on, bro. You got to chill with this. You got to chill, Mark. Saying all the stuff that you saying, trying to say he had the little pickle with, hey, look, hey, I don't know. That's MJF, bro. They ain't got nothing to do with me. But what I'm saying is this. Everything that MJF said was gold. I think they're going to cook with it. And I think this is going to be something really good. But again, yeah, Speedball, Kevin Knight, get that opportunity goodbye. Y'all gonna have a great match and all in, but just know them titles ain't coming home with you. They gonna stay with the Hurt Syndicate. We hurt people. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Man, I love what AEW is doing right now with the tag team division. I love how they're in the tag team titles. I love, the fact that they have established the Hurt Syndicate as a just a dominant, formidable tag team that you're just to the point where it's like, who on this roster, who
Who?
on this roster is going to be able to beat the Hurt Syndicate? And you just I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. It might have to take a Young Bucks or a Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland over time working together to take down somebody like the Hurt Syndicate. Like I love it though, because this is kind of what I would like to see again. Not to get too far off the rails, but I would like to see WWE doing with their tag titles, like featuring them and then having these dominant teams where it's like, man, this is going. I can't see anybody beating them, like taking the titles. And that's what makes it, makes it good. It's what makes the title seem prestigious. It's what makes the titles, worth like seeing teams like go after and want. Because you're going to be featured and you're going to get give those titles the due diligence that they deserve. And so I love it. I love it. I can't say it enough. The Hurt Syndicate, every time, I see them come out every week, it's always a pleasure. I love to see, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin just dominate, just be ruthless, man. And MVP, it's like it's all happening around him, and it's just like it's his business. It's like business as usual, and he just grabs the mic and just starts talking. And meanwhile, these guys are being tossed around, thrown like, and these people these are grown men being thrown around like rag dolls, picked up, put through tables, and then he just grabs the mic and just starts talking. And it's cold. It's cold work, man. It's a cold piece of work, but I love it. I love it. And then I love. I saw some. I don't know if y'all put it in the post or whatever. I can't remember. But I saw the little tweet that, or not tweet, but Instagram post, whatever it was, that MJF put out where he talked about like jump the guardrails to come after me, or whatever, like come after me at out in public, or it doesn't matter because I have the Hurt Syndicate, and there's Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin in. I'm like, that's a cold piece of work right here. It's a cold piece. Like, I just love it, man. I really do. I love the Hurt. I just love the Hurt Syndicate. When they come and hear the music, we hurt people. I'm like, somebody
We
is
break
getting
rookies,
ready
we break
to
necks,
get
we
the
break
business. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And they do too. And they do. That's the thing. And it's like, this is cold. And I love it. I can't say it enough, man. I just love it. I love it. I love it. And I just feel bad for Speedball and them. Like they have no chance in hell. It's just they just don't have it.
They
I'm
don't,
sorry.
man. I know it's like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what tag team could really go up against them unless it is the Bucks.
It's
But
gotta
I
be the
feel like
Bucks.
I'd be afraid for the Bucks at this
I'm
point.
afraid for the Bucks at 100%. It's gonna take some type of shenanigans to get these titles off of the Hurt Syndicate. I mean, it's just it's gonna come down to a betrayal, and it's gonna have to be MJF. That's gonna have to be the betrayal. It's like commit some type of betrayal to help somebody overcome the Hurt Syndicate. It's just the only way I see it happening. I mean, that's it, man. Like, you talk about getting the ring toe to toe, it ain't working. It ain't working.
Nah, it ain't, man.
But
It
it's
ain't. I don't
greatness.
think.
It's greatness.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. I love the representation, man. The
Yes,
representation they got,
man. They come out in
A1.
A1. I love it. That's another thing I meant to say. I meant to mention the suits they come out in. They're clean cut and just the gold around the waist or over the shoulder. It's just, I love it. I love it. It's just dope, man. It's just like I said,
Really
it's a cold,
good.
Hurt Syndicate. That's a cold piece of work.
It is, man. They're doing amazing work right now. But we
One
talked
last thing,
about.
real.
Oh, what you
One
got? What
last
you
thing. I'm
got?
sorry.
Yeah, no, you
I
good.
feel like to complete this though, MJF needs some type of gold. They need to
Yes.
get him. He needs to get something. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what. It don't even have to be the main title. But just to get another title in that stable, that will complete it to me.
Yeah, it really would. And I think maybe that might be the direction they're gonna try to go with, maybe trying to get him that, because he's been saying that since he got with the Hurt Syndicate. Like, yeah, my main focus is you. I'm trying to get to the AEW World
Yeah,
Title. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
we're gonna do something like this. I'm
yeah.
all for it, honestly. Yeah, but we talked about a few things that was going on already with with the Death Riders. Now, if y'all didn't see this Fatal 4-Way match, this was a banger. Now, of course, NXT had a great Fatal 4-Way match, but this was a great one. We had Willow Nightingale, we had my girl Chris Statlander, of course, two of Long Island Grace right there. Come on, girls, y'all ladies killed it out there. Then we had Thunder Rosa out there. I mean, this was a really and of course Y'all try to, my man DeMarcus, okay, DeMarcus, you try to say something about Athena not being on TV. And Athena was on TV this week. And I said, you know what, DeMarcus? What you about to say about my girl Athena now? Okay. Because Athena was, I mean, they had a banger of a match. But what's so interesting, because even on Collision, okay, Collision was interesting. Chris Statler had bumped into John Moxley. John Moxley said, don't let anybody tell you your worth. And I said, what you mean by that? But what was interesting, when Willow Nightingale was about to hit her finish on Chris Statlander, my girl Marina Shafir came out and was walking. Willow started to look at. I'm like, oh, what's going on with this? And of course, Wheeler Euler. They use this man like a rag doll for anything at this point. And honestly, Willow did hey, she did a Keith Lee move. You went against the ropes, came around, hit him with a huge clothesline, knocked him out, but that distracted her because then at that point, Chris Statlander her finish on Willow. And now she has entered herself into that women's gauntlet match. An interesting thing after that, after she got the pin, man, the stare down between her and Marina Shafir, the look of accomplishment, the look of satisfaction, and the look of just pure happiness to see Chris Statlander getting that dub. And this was the finish right here. I really wonder what this means for Chris Statlander. Some people were saying, she was face and heel, and then she went face again. Now she's going back to heel, and they say, oh, we don't know what they're going to do with her. This is something they about to do. I think, and I was wondering, I said, well, if we don't do anything else with the Death Riders, we need to do something for the women. Now, to have two women in the Death Riders, I'm all for it. I love seeing factions when you have all equal opportunity for everybody. Usually, most of the time, it's 3 men, 1 woman. They had, about 4 or 5 men, 1 woman. But hey, you throwing Chris Statlander, I'm looking forward to see these 2 women as a tag team. Now, Tony, if you're going to do something with this, if you're going to make a tag team, hey, look, you good at making titles at this point. Make women's tag titles. Hell, why not? Why not? You got enough women. Let's see what we do with this. I loved everything about this. This was, again, another story. They told the story on Collision. And I said to myself, this could be very interesting for Chris Statlander. And a lot of times, I've always liked Chris Statlander. I've always been a fan, of course. Might be a little biased because she's from Long Island. Y'all can say what you want, okay? I might have some bias when it comes to my peoples from Long Island, okay? You can say that about MJF. You can say that about Chris Statlander. You can say that about my girl Willow Nightingale. It's different for Willow because she related to a great best friend of mine, high school, a good friend of mine. And, one day we're going to find out how that works. We're going to get you on the show, Willow. I swear we are. One day we're going to get you on here. I like what they're doing with this. And the fact that Chris Statlander pinned Willow was a big deal to me. I said, okay, y'all still telling the story with the friendship. Y'all ain't nothing. But I like the match overall was great, man. I mean, nonstop. Athena was going crazy. I love the offense that Athena had, by the way. Okay. Had her minion. She said, get my title. Thunder Rosa come out, stops that. I couldn't be mad about nothing that happened in this match, honestly. The involvement with Marina Shafir. Look, I don't know what it is about Marina. This girl done got me. I don't know what the heck is going on, but the last few weeks, I said, Marina, man, I like her. I mean, I've always liked Marina Shafir, but I feel like now, I mean, before, I like when she was putting dudes in headlocks. I said, come on, you need a woman like that. You need a woman. That's why Roger Strong's with her now. Come on. He know what he got. He know what he got at the house. If anybody even try to run up in the crib, he don't even got to do nothing. Marina, go ahead and get that. Go ahead and handle the light work real quick. Put him down like a dog. Okay? But I love what they're doing with this because they told that story on Collision. And that was very important. Very important. Of course, Wheeler Yuta. What are we doing with this guy? Why is he just like, I wish I could think of somebody that is just this stuff. They get treated like the bottom of the barrel every time. He's almost like the DJ Jazzy Jeff of the group. They just do anything when they just throw 'em around. Hey, you got whatever. They don't give a damn about what you for real. As much as they say this man don't got no aura. No, the aura on him is legitimately zero because of how they treat this man. I used to love Will Yuta. Not to say I don't still, but now the way they are legitimately just doing whatever with him. And it's like, you know what? I get it. You know, Wheeler, you don't want to have a mind of your own, but yeah, we gonna treat you like you ain't got no mind of your own. And I get it. I get it. I get it's Wheeler Yuta. What do we care? What do we care? But I love this, man. I think now to see if possibly the Death Riders extend a new member and it being Chris Statlander, I'm all for it, man. She needs something new. She needs something fresh. And if she's gonna be do something with Marina Shafir, I'm all for it. Let's do something with it. Heartbreak Prince, what's your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with what you just said. I thought this was a very good women's match here with all four women did a phenomenal job. Uh, I'm more partial to Athena. I know you love Willow,
Oh yeah.
and I know you
Love
love
love Athena.
Chris. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Athena, I was more partial to her just because I just her history of being in WWE and all that stuff, and I like her. So I was pulling for it,
Me
but
too.
at the same
I
time, I
was. I
kind of
was
had, yeah,
too.
I was pulling for it, but at the same time, I was like, all right, if not her, then Willow. And it was looking like it was going to go that way. And when she depleted Willow Yuta, I just I just said, it was at this moment he knew that he effed up because my man came off that rope and she was coming from the side, and I said, "Oh my gosh, she's gonna kill him," and she did. But but then I saw Chris Statlander in the background. I said, "Ah, here you go," and she hit the finishing move on her, and I was like, "Oh man, what does this mean for?" Because we were just talking about Willow Nightingale last week, I think, saying maybe she might be in line to get
Won that
the TV,
TBS
yeah,
title.
to win the TBS
Yeah.
title, and and I'm not saying they still can't go that rate that route, but I just had her pegged to be the one, and it didn't go that way, but the match itself was great. The women delivered. I like to see that AEW's women division is starting to grow and get better. I say starting, but has been getting better through times. I know it started off rough in the beginning, but like anything, with time, polish, practice, all of that stuff, you start to to become better. And I think this is great because you
Oh.
saw four women get in the ring and deliver an excellent match. And it didn't have to be your top women. Like it wasn't, Thomas Tony Stone wasn't involved. Mercedes Monet wasn't necessarily involved. DMD, if she's even still part of,
Yeah,
but
man.
she's not involved in it. And you got this young crop of women that's kind of carrying it a little bit and coming up. And so yeah, it was good to see. I do miss DMD. Shout out to her, by the way. If he ever decides to get back in the ring.
Yeah, we miss you, Britt Baker. You can be my dentist, honestly. I don't care.
Yeah.
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 Maybe
I
that's what
love
she's
the
doing
old
right there.
DMD.
D. Man, we miss you, Brett. We yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on with her, man. We need you to come back, Brett.
Yeah,
You got that fire. You had aura, girl. You still
she
got
did.
aura.
She did.
You
Yeah.
still got the aura on you, man. So yeah, we hope to see you come back soon. But yeah, man, I'm excited. But yeah, I agree, man. I really was pulling for Athena too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about those fatal four-way matches, man. I'm like, whoever gets the most offense, I swear to God, is the one that never wins.
That
And
never
that
wins.
never wins, man.
And
I
my
mean,
girl stayed on offense.
on every front, man. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, she was pulling out every move. I mean, I wanted to see the eclipse,
The
but I
eclipse.
was good at everything else that she did. I mean, she was just. I said this. I said, see, Demarcus,
That's another
this is
top
what we were
five right
talking
there.
about.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, Demarcus. Well, but no, that's another top five right there. Like best female finishers. Like we need to do that on
Yeah,
exclusive minds. I think that would be a good one too.
yeah, man, yeah, man. They, man, they really delivered, and I felt like this showed again for the women, just like you said, man. Like this really showed. I think AEW definitely has a women's division that can compete.
Yeah.
And just like you said, man, overtime. when they polish, they practice. I think a
Yeah.
lot of these women are really showing it, man. Like,
Mhm.
we had a Thunder Rosa, which we've known Thunder
Yeah.
Rosa been killing it since
Killing it for yeah.
NWA. You know what I'm saying? NWA days, and when she went to AEW, she was killing it then. So, you got somebody like her. You got somebody like Chris Statlander, which is another AEW original that's been there since the beginning when she was there with, Orange Cassidy and Trent and all them
Mhm.
with the best friends. You got somebody like Willow Nightingale that has been on a cusp of getting better and just growing and just going. I mean, her momentum has been insane lately. The last few weeks, probably the last couple months since maybe the Anarchy in the Arena. I think
Yeah.
since then the momentum for her has just been really
Yeah.
skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And I think the story they tell with Chris Statlander is showing they got something for her, and I think this could really work. So yeah, I mean, again, for the Death Riders to go ahead and just pull Chris Statlander, yeah, that says a lot, man. That says a whole lot, and I'm very intrigued what they're gonna do with that. But
Yeah.
we gotta talk about this main event, man. We gotta talk about, since we talking about the Death Riders, we gotta talk about what happened with my man Adam Page. You know what happens with him, man. That my man can't catch a break since he trying to have this match at All In. Because he gets his dub, wins his match at the main event. Now, all of a sudden, lights go out, goes black for a solid, 30, 45 seconds. Everybody trying to figure out what's going on, what's this, what's that. And then what happens? Come on, you already know what it was. The best tag team ever. Come on, stop playing. The best tag team ever. The Young Bucks are ready to hit him with the B. Hit him with the knee, man. They both hit the dump. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna say if you paid me $1 million for these men to hit me in my face with, but I'd probably do it. No cap. Pause.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I can take one knee to the face.
just one, just one. If you give me $1 million, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay,
Or I guess
man.
in this case, 2 knees to the face one time.
One time, yeah. Because I mean, when these guys are doing it, it just looks good, man. And it was synchronized. They hit Adam Page. I mean, just impeccable. Look at Nick. Look at Nick. I mean, Nick just got his arms out. Matt don't give a damn. Matt's telling. I mean, and at one point, even after this, they're sitting there telling Adam Page, "This is your fault. You did this to yourself. It's your fault." I said, "Man, what? Doing here? What are y'all doing this to your best friend for?" Okay. Then after that, who comes out? Man, that man, John Moxley, Mr. Exclusive said the man that has no aura.
No. Oh,
Which, I think, him coming out gave him this aura right now. John Moxley comes out, and now at this point, they get to the ring. What happens when they get to the ring? That girl, Marina Shafir. Come on. Come on, Marina. You just doing anything you want to do, girl. She goes ahead and starts to drop the chain to John Moxley. Now, John Moxley grabs the chain. And at this point, he ready to choke at Adam Page. And now the Bucks is in there. Look, everybody's looking at Adam Page getting choked up. But then the Ops come out. And then Will Ospreay comes out. And then at this point, now Death Riders escape, run off, leaving out. You know what I'm saying? Now they're trying to make sure Adam Page is okay. Adam Page is on the floor just laid out, just looking crazy. I mean, come on. You talk about laid out, man. This man looked like a dead body. All right. Sold it. Great. So now at this point, you got the Death Riders out here and the Bucks. And this is the finish right here. Man, I mean, the story that these guys are telling with this, man, just overall control. We gotta look at how much they've been building with this, probably since Dynasty. With the Bucks working with the Death Riders, having those means. And think about think about the story they've been telling with the EVPs in control, with the Death Riders doing what they want to do, with the Death Riders trying to stop Adam Page, with the Death Riders recruiting Chris Statlander. Okay, everything that the Death Riders are doing, I love this. I'm not gonna. I love every single thing about this because if we really go back, this story it's been almost a year storyline, maybe since October of last year. They're telling the story and they're telling it right and they're telling it well, man. I think when we look at everything as a whole, right? We look at John Moxley winning the title. When the Death Riders had the trio tag champs, okay, when they had that control, it was different. All of them had gold. Of course, we couldn't see the AEW title, which I don't care. If it's in the briefcase, it's in the briefcase. We know that much for sure. But I mean, I love what they did in there, man. Like they're telling this story. And then you had Will Ospreay come out and swerve and the opposite. Like again, I really think what they're telling the story is you got the AEW originals trying to take back over AEW. Yeah. Do I think they're gonna right all the wrongs and all in? Ah, probably not. You can't. First of all, Swerve and Will Ospreay. I don't know if you're gonna beat the Bucks. I don't know, bro. I just don't. I don't see it happening because it's the Bucks. We talked about it. It's the EVPs. You ain't gonna do that. But again, the way they selling this with Adam Page, the way they doing this, I love everything about this, man. They are building up this story. Now the attacks are going crazy. No, the week before y'all ain't do nothing. The week before y'all was beating the hell out of everybody else. Now this week you're beating the hell out of Adam Page. All right. I'm not against this at all. I like everything that they're telling with this, man. They've got a story on their hands. And it seems like when we look at All In, come on, call me Birdman. Because my hands is rubbing like this. Give me some Aveeno. I'm, I'm so hyped for this. Man, this is gonna be good, man. Like there's so much story with the Bucks, Swerve, Osprey, the Death Riders, Adam Page. They've told this story well, and they've involved everybody. Even when we go back to Dynasty, when Swerve lost, who was the reason why they lost? The Young Bucks. Now we're here all in. Come on. Come on, y'all. Y'all complain about the storylines with AEW. Y'all complain and said, well, we're not getting anything. Look what's going on. And this isn't even short-term storyline. This is long-term storytelling. Shout out to my man, Mr. Exclusive. Man, this is good, man. I don't got no problems with this. They got me hyped. I can't even wait for Collision on Saturday. They are really doing so much. Oh, I'm sorry, Collision is supposed to be tonight. God, they done gave us so many bangers. I'm like, oh my gosh. Now we gotta watch Collision because of how good they're telling these stories here. Like Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think? I'm just so full of these so full of these rock chills, man. They got me so hyped for this, man. I can't wait, man. What's your thoughts, man? What you think?
No, this was good. You know, I was wondering how long they was gonna let my man Hangman be in there being choked out by the chain before anybody came out to save him.
He was
But
dying.
yeah, he was. I thought for sure I said, yeah, this is it. He's done. Yeah, I'm witnessing it right here on live television. But no, the story with the Death Riders, Adam Hangman Page, the Bucks, and how they're all kind of rolled into this Swerve, and Osprey, and like it's really good to see like AEW plan this out and put together this story and then have it leading to a pay-per-view where all of this stuff is going to play out, and it's involving some of their main hitters that are people that have been their main hitters for the 6 years that they've been running. And so it's been good. And what Moxley has been doing, I understand that Mr. Exclusive is not a huge fan of Moxley. But what he's been doing, with the Death Riders and that whole faction and group has been just A1 work. And then, like I said, the whole thing with the title and the briefcase, that's another, like it's all been good work. Like I even liked his promo that he cut to Hangman Page, just talking about how like Hangman has this talent and ability, but he doesn't really like go after it and just like take it, like use his abilities and skills and just take what's his and stuff like that. And it's just it's just a good story that they're telling and putting together. And it's really putting Hangman in this position of like he has to be the hero. He has to be the one to like end this, to stop this, to get the title back from Moxley and the Death Riders, and just some of the diabolical things that the Death Riders mixed with the EVPs are doing. It's been great. Like I said, I really like this, and I like how it's like this second coming for Adam Hangman Page. Like he had his first title run. It wasn't probably as great as you probably would have wanted it to be. When he had it, but it's like he's kind of, I don't know. It's like it's his second opportunity, it's his second chance, and like a lot of the hopes and dreams and goals, aspirations, or whatever, and like for AEW is hanging on his shoulders and his ability to stop John Moxley, and it's just, I don't know. It's just got this feel to it that it's hard to really describe and put into words, but I like it. I just and I'm hoping that this pays off for Adam Hangman Page. Everything that he's going through, everything that he's been put through, is going to pay off for him at All In. And I again, it's just this is what happens when you can put good stories together, and it's gripping, and it makes you like, hey, I gotta see this, I gotta watch this. And that's why All In is so exciting, because they just have a whole slew of matches that are just really good and have really good stories. So I think they've been doing a good job. I think they've been killing it. Even though I do see and agree with Mr. Exclusive about Moxley. Like, I'm not gonna say he doesn't have any aura. I think there
Yeah,
is
he
some
still got
aura
some. He
there.
got some
I,
room.
I I
Yeah,
just think his wrestling style, again, as we discussed on Exclusive Minds, I just think his wrestling style is a little stiff. But that's kind of who he is. And so if you're kind of not a fan of that type of wrestling style, I can see why you would feel the way you would feel about him. But I do think him and Hangman will put on a great match, because Moxley is very daring. Is just what I would describe his wrestling style is. And because he's daring and Hangman has a little edge of that in him as well, I think it's going to be a really good match. And so yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. John Moxley he's been in his element when it comes to this storyline and the Death Riders, and then like his promo work against Adam Hangman Page, and I think it's really building Hangman up.
yeah, yeah, man. Even I mean, like this was so good, man. Like even the story with him and Swerve and like how they were already tied in, and their story was just cooking already. So I mean, that was something that was going on from last year. So we're
Yeah,
we're seeing everything kind of playing full circle. So yeah,
yeah,
man, I think they're checking off the boxes, man, and they're doing it. I think
yeah,
they're proving to everybody like, yeah, we got storylines, we got amazing wrestling. Hey, shout out to you, Christopher Daniels. You're doing your thing, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Oh man, but we talked about some of the great things with AEW, man. We just with Dynamite and everything with Timeless Tony Storm, the CEO, MJF, the Hurt Syndicate, the come on, the Death Riders. All right, Will Ospreay, Swerve. When I swerve, then I ride. Come on, greatness.
and quick question for you too, right before we go.
Yeah.
What, like, so at All In, John Moxley, Death Riders, they lose the title. Let's say Hangman, he goes over, he wins. What does this mean? Like, what does it mean for the Death Riders? What does it mean for Moxley? Like, what is the story now?
I mean, that's the thing that I kept wondering to myself, like, what does happen next with the Death Riders? Like that, and that's what I kept wondering. I was like, maybe what if Mox don't like? What if Mox does retain? Because like I'm thinking to myself, if they're about to bring in Chris Statlander,
Yep.
that's got to mean something, you know. Hell, what if she's the reason why Adam Page don't win?
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors that could play into this, so I don't know, man. I I question that. I mean, I don't want to see John Moxley hit the mid card neither because of
Yeah.
how good the Death Riders have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe if they start the first quest to maybe try to get the trio tags champions back, maybe they'll start that back up. But I don't know, man. It seems like they're trying to. It's like they're trying to. It's almost like the Avengers are trying to beat Thanos.
Yeah.
And this is like their way of trying to do it. And if they don't do it this
Yeah.
time, then they gonna lose for 5 years, have to go back in time and fix it again. So yeah, they're gonna have to do something with this. So I'm curious, but it seems like John Moxley's the big bad that they have to defeat. And I just wonder, and man, I'm just hoping it's not to the point we see the breaking up of the Death Riders, man. Because I
Yeah.
do like their entrance. I like how they come out, the
Yeah.
music, just I love it, man. They got some of that. So I don't want to see the Death Riders go away. Um, but maybe just without the briefcase, I'll be okay with it. But just let them start beating the hell out of people. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. Even if he does lose and they just on a revenge cusp of just trying to, you know, take control back and everything, I'm okay with that too. Like but yeah, I'm curious. But we'll have to see, man, because they it seem like they got something planned, and it seemed like whatever they got planned, it's working,
Yeah.
and it's working very well. So I'm glad, Tony Khan, you're doing your thing, bro. You are
Yeah.
doing your thing, man. If
Yeah.
they said anything else, look, there's reasons why, and I'm gonna say this last thing because this needs to be addressed. There's reasons why AEW does not compete on certain days. Like we know Collision usually is on Saturday, but we know Night of Champions. They don't want to compete. They don't need to compete. I'm loving the fact that AEW they're moving their shows on. They're like, nah, we don't need to compete. And I like what y'all are doing because you're making it to the point where we don't have to choose as fans. I don't want to have to choose. I hate having to choose. But I like how AEW and I like how Tony Khan is making that call himself. Not to choose, not to compete. I like that. And see, and again, just like All In, look, look, he don't gotta change it. Why? Because you've had this venue, you've had this date saved in for almost a year. Okay, and I think they're proving that point. We are in our own lane, we're doing our own thing. If y'all want to do your thing, go ahead. But I like how he's really making it to where it's like, bro, we don't have to compete. We don't need to compete. We're in our own lane, and what they're doing, they're cooking. And I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all are doing your thing. But as always, please make sure y'all follow all of our social medias. Look, I can't tell you how many times, man. Look, Facebook, we on that. X, we on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, we on that as well. Hey, we appreciate the love y'all have been giving us. We are now at 151 subscribers and 310 followers on TikTok. Y'all keep liking it up. Y'all keep subscribing. Look, I'm telling y'all, the more y'all keep loving us and the more y'all keep liking us and the more y'all keep subscribing, doing everything, we're going to keep giving y'all that content the exclusive way. That's right. Look, I told y'all. I told y'all if y'all keep doing it. Look all the segments we giving y'all. Okay? Y'all see what we do with the Heartbreak Prince, with the Heartbreak Hotel. You see what we doing with Nighttime. You see what we did last night with Exclusive Minds. You see what we
Exclusive
did.
Minds was fun. That was
That
a
was fun.
fun show and discussion and yeah,
I had so much
questions.
fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was really fun. And you see what we did with the young OG,
Yeah.
with the actual OG.
Yeah.
Okay, we told y'all. We
That was really
told
cool.
y'all we had so many more segments. Look, and we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep giving y'all this stuff, man. Because look, we got
Yeah.
so much more to give y'all, so much more to
And
show.
shout out
And
to
y'all,
Rob the photographer too, by the way, for
hey,
just
come
for
on now.
coming on and doing that and giving us that opportunity and just blessing us with that. You know, we're very grateful. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Rob. Thank you,
Yeah.
Rob. Yeah, man. But look, OG. Hey, I'm always happy, always glad we can keep in contact with you. And we, of
Yeah.
course, as always, we love to have you back on the show whenever you want to, man.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to come and talk
Yeah.
about something new, come on, man. We
Yeah.
got you. And if y'all
Make sure y'all
haven't
check out his
known,
content.
yeah, because I was about to
Yep.
say, if
The
y'all
booth.
haven't known, seems like they done listen to what Big Rob asked for, because you see the OG got a picture with him and the young OG.
And
So he
his
did some
son. Yep.
stuff, man. So it's
Yep.
great stuff that
Yep.
we're seeing. And of course, we got some more stuff coming up for y'all. So please be on the lookout for it. We're gonna keep giving y'all heat. And again, OVW Dropout, thanks again for coming through
Yep.
last week.
Shout out OV.
Yeah, man. Look, we love
OV
everything.
dub.
Hey, shout out to Heels for Life podcast, my man
Yep.
Chris,
Hills, Chris.
showing
Yep.
love on the panels on TikTok. Shout out to everybody on TikTok, the TikTok family I've been hopping on with, talking with y'all. Hey, I appreciate the love and support from everybody. Shout out to my man Saint. My man Saint is another one out there on TikTok, showing love as always. And shout out to my man Jay Mania, big guy on NXT. If y'all don't know about
Yep.
him, he's out here making all the chance. Giving all the chance on NXT. So if y'all don't know, y'all better watch out and look out for him, man, because he's constantly doing the or
Oof.
anything. That's him. No. Oh man, but hey, we are the exclusive nights, and we always ensure that we are the best there is, the
The
best there
best there
was,
was,
and the
and the
best that
best
ever
there ever
will
will
be.
be.
And to ensure that your nights will never be the
Be the
same.
same. Chin up,
Y'all be good
tits out,
and
and
enjoy.
watch for the shoe.
Yeah.